40. Good morning, Arizona. Look at that. We are looking, believe it or not, at half of Piestola. Half of it's covered in fog and low-hanging clouds. So you're probably thinking, ooh, that sounds like a good day for a fire in the fireplace. So maybe you haven't used it, though, yet this season. So what do? Adam WEBSTER is here with Rocky Mountain Restoration. There's a few things we need to do before we even start thinking about lighting a fire there. The first of which is we've got to clean it, right? Because it's been gathering gunk all year long.
Right. Yeah, so one of the big things you can do to help prevent, and our concern here is chimney fires, right? So what happens is when you burn, when you're constantly using that chimney, you get a lot of buildup of what's called creosote in the chimney. And when it builds up, it can be flammable. It can also kind of clog it up so that way the smoke's not getting out. And that can cause chimney fires, which is very dangerous. So the biggest thing I would say, biggest recommendation I can give you to prevent that is to make sure it's clean. And you can either hire a professional to come in or go to like a Home Depot, home improvement store, and buy, the brush and the stick and, clean it out yourself. You can do that. But that's the biggest thing to do to make sure it's cleared out so that the smoke can leave properly and you don't have any issues.
Right. And, when you hire someone, it doesn't take very long. I mean, it takes maybe 40 minutes to have it done and give you peace of mind.
Very simple, yeah.
Okay. But also, let's say we've cleaned it, we're ready to go. You also want to make sure that you're using dry wood.
Yes, right. So that's the other thing, too, is prevention. Make sure you're burning what should be burned in the fireplace. And so make sure that the wood is dried out properly. And, there's different recommendations, 6 months, even up to a year, that wood is dried. Because if it's not dry, then it burns wet, and that's when you get, again, that creosote buildup in the chimney.
Really?
So make sure it's dry and make sure you're using the right wood in the fireplace, yeah.
So a couple things we know right off the bat, right? You don't want to just go digging through your trash, burning that. You don't want to use cardboard boxes. But what about, a lot of people will roll up a newspaper and use that kind of as the kindling. Do you say yay or nay to that?
Yeah, dry kindling is okay. I mean, if you're using a little bit to get the fire started, that's okay. But if you're throwing like a whole cardboard box in there or something, then again you're going to get this burn off that can be hazardous. So make sure that if you're using kindling, it's just a little bit just to get that fire started. And then you want to use good sized logs that are dried out. That's the best thing to be burning in there.
Also, they were telling me, too, from Peoria Fire Department, and I'm sorry, Tim Edens, I think, he was telling us, start small with your fire, because it can be easy to overload your fireplace and you end up with this huge roaring fire that maybe you're not prepared for.
Right, yeah, you might bite off more than you can chew, so to speak. But yeah, make sure to start off small, build it up, and, be conservative with the fire, right? It doesn't take a lot to put off some good heat, so, don't get too crazy. Yeah, it's good advice.
Seems obvious, but we do forget sometimes. You got to open the flue.
Yes. Yeah, and so, that's one thing we see a lot in our company is that people will, maybe it's the first time they've used it in the season, they forget to open up the flue or the damper.
You'll know right away that you didn't open it.
And smoke starts billowing out, and when the smoke gets into the house, it can cause some real damage to the structure and the smell, and so it seems really obvious, but that can prevent a lot of damage just by opening that.
Can I ask you what you do at that moment when you realize, oh gosh, I didn't open the flue, but the fire's already going? You can't reach in there and open the flue, so what do you do at that point?
That's a little bit of a panic situation, but yeah, I mean, maybe try and put that fire out. If you, don't hurt yourself, obviously. It's better to, not get burned, but I would say definitely try to, if you can, put that fire down a little bit, open up the damper as soon as possible, get that smoke out of there again, because the smoke starts billowing into the house. People don't realize all the damage that it can cause.
And what do you recommend about closing the flue? Because my mom leaves it open all night long, and it feels like, oh, we shouldn't even start that fire because now it's freezing in here. How long do you think after the fire's out that you can close it?
If the smoke's dissipated and the fire's out, you're probably going to be okay. Like I said, just remember to keep that open when you're burning it. So some people might leave it open, that's okay, but again, you can get those drafts coming into the house. And so if you can remember to open it up, of course, go ahead and open and close it as you feel appropriate. But just make sure that the smoke is out when you close it.
I hope my mom's watching. I'm not kidding you. Like 9 hours she leaves it open after the fire's out. Okay. So what's the #1 thing after making sure that it's clean you think that we should really keep an eye on?
Just make sure you're burning the right stuff in there. That's really the biggest thing. Make sure you're burning, like I said, big, dry logs is the best thing you can burn in the fireplace. Avoid the debris, the cardboard boxes, the trash, things like that. And make sure to clean it out properly, maybe once a year or whatever you think. Some people use theirs more than others, but just make sure it's clean. And those are the biggest things you do to prevent any hazards with the chimney fire and prevent smoke damage inside the house.
Okay. Is there anything we need to be doing in the off-season? Like during the summer?
Not so much that we know. Again, here in Arizona, we're not using our chimneys as much as other parts of the country, you know. So again, because it's a lighter use, probably nothing you need to do really. Keep that flue closed, keep the elements out. But other than that, I think you're probably okay.
Okay, thank you. I feel cozier and safer already. All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks
for coming by.